Ladies and gentlemen, something big is happening. Are you ready? I was instructed to bring this message to you because it could help you. Listen closely, because what I'm about to share with you might be the most important message you hear this year. And before I tell you exactly what is happening, I need you to stay with me all the way until the end of this message. Do not skip. If you miss even one word, you'll lose the full picture. And this is too important to miss. So, let me start by asking you a question. Where are you listening from right now? Drop your city or state in the comments below. I want to see seniors, families, communities from across this country and across the world speaking up, because what I'm about to share affects every single one of us across America and beyond. And while you do that, make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell icon, and like this video, because I don't want you missing the next time I share something this critical. Now, here's what I'll promise you. By the end of this message, you'll understand what is happening behind the scenes. Something no one is telling you. Something that explains why you've been feeling the weight you've been feeling. And it may just save you and your family from being caught unprepared. But first, let's talk about the foundation. The very first truth we need to face is change. Change is not coming. It's already here. And I don't mean small changes like a new phone update or gas prices rising a few cents. I'm talking about seismic shifts that touch every part of life. Our economy, our communities, even the way we connect with each other as human beings. You've noticed it. Stores close earlier, shelves sit half empty, younger generations spend more time on screens than with their own families. Maybe you've even felt it when you look at your retirement savings, or when you see the rising costs of everyday necessities. But here's the thing about change. It is never neutral. It either shapes you, or you shape it. And that's why I'm here today. Because if you try to ignore change, if you try to pretend it's not happening, you will get swept away by it. But if you understand it, if you prepare yourself, you can not only survive it, you can thrive through it. Let me give you an example. I once read about a community in the Midwest that faced a sudden factory closure. Hundreds lost their jobs overnight. Some families were devastated. They froze in fear. But others, ordinary people, just like you, saw it as a chance to reinvent themselves. They pulled resources, started small businesses, created new support systems. Within 2 years, that town wasn't just surviving, it was thriving again, because they embraced change instead of resisting it. So, here's my question to you. How do you react to change? Do you fight it, deny it, or lean into it with courage? Write your answer in the comments, because I want to know how you personally deal with these moments. And here's something practical. Start with small changes every day to train yourself for the bigger ones. This is where tools like the 31-day daily high-impact planner can help. Use it to structure your mornings, your focus, your reflection. It may seem simple, but when you train your mind to adapt to daily shifts, you're better prepared for the largest storms that may come. Now, let me share a deeper truth. Every major transformation in history, from the birth of new nations to breakthroughs in science, to movements of faith, always started with change. Change disrupts, yes, but change also awakens. That's why you're here right now. You feel it. You know something is stirring. You sense that life, as we know it, cannot stay the same. And you are right. But here's the catch. Change is only the first step. What comes next is far greater and far more urgent. If you think change is hard, wait until you hear the second truth. It is something most people never talk about. Yet it explains why so many feel lost and anxious today. And this is why I say, don't skip a single moment of this message. If you've been asking yourself, why do I feel unsettled? Why does the world feel so different? Why do I feel like something is coming? You will get your answer by the time we reach the end. I'll tell you this. The big thing that is happening is real. It is already unfolding, and you need to be ready for it. But before I reveal what it is, we need to go step by step, layer by layer, truth by truth. You've just received the first key change. Next, I will share with you something even deeper, awakening. And trust me, You don't want to miss this. Something big is happening, and every fiber of my being is telling me this message found you for a reason. You cannot skip anything, I will say, because every word connects to the truth that will finally be revealed. You see, after change comes something even more profound. Awakening. And let me tell you, awakening is never comfortable. It is the moment you open your eyes to see what others refuse to see. It is the moment you notice the patterns that have been hidden in plain sight. Have you noticed how fast time feels like it is moving now? Do you feel how days blur into weeks, weeks into months? And yet, inside you there is this quiet whisper saying, something is not right, something is shifting. That whisper is not fear, that whisper is awakening. But most people shut it out. They drown it in distraction. They cling to television, to endless scrolling, to noise just so they don't have to hear it. Yet, ignoring awakening is the greatest mistake anyone can make. Because when awakening knocks, it's a signal that life as we know it will not remain the same. Let me ask you, have you felt this awakening inside you? Do you feel like the world around you is changing faster than people are admitting? If your answer is yes, drop the word awake in the comments right now. And if your answer is no, write still sleeping. Let's see who is seeing clearly and who still feels lost in the fog. This isn't just philosophy. Look at this. You see ordinary people across America suddenly asking bigger questions. What really matters? Why am I here? What will happen to my family if things collapse tomorrow? These are not random questions. These are wake-up calls. And awakening always begins inside you before it manifests outside. You feel it in your chest, in your spirit, even in your dreams. Think about this. For the first time in decades, Americans of every generation are rethinking their relationship with work, with money, with faith, with one another. Seniors who spent their whole lives saving are wondering if their savings will even mean anything in 5 years. Younger people are sensing that the ground they stand on is unstable, even though they cannot explain why. Families are noticing that traditions, once solid, are being swept aside at lightning speed. This is not coincidence. This is awakening. And here's the truth. No one wants to say out loud. Awakening often feels like anxiety, but it isn't. What you think is fear is actually anticipation. It's the soul's way of saying, prepare yourself. Something big is coming. So, let me ask you another question. What has been keeping you awake at night recently? Is it your health, your finances, your children, your community? Write it down in the comments. Share, because by sharing, you help others see that they are not alone in this awakening. Here's what I want you to remember. Awakening is not punishment. It is preparation. It is God's way of stirring your spirit to pay attention. And when you feel that stirring, the worst thing you can do is ignore it. The best thing you can do is lean into it, pray about it, write about it, reflect on it every morning. This is where the 31-day daily high-impact planner can change your life. Use it to record what you notice each day. Patterns, emotions, whispers of intuition. Over 31 days, you'll begin to see a bigger picture forming. And that picture could be your personal map through the uncertainty ahead. You see, awakening is like standing at a crossroads. In the dark, most people close their eyes, hoping the road will reveal itself. But the wise person lights a candle and takes the first step, even if the path is not clear. I believe you are one of those wise people, or else you would not be hearing this message today. This is not random, but awakening by itself is not enough. Because when you awaken, you begin to notice things others don't see. And that requires something even stronger. Intuition. An intuition that is where the real challenge begins. Because intuition asks you to trust the unseen, to trust the signals no one else acknowledges. It is the next step, and it will separate those who thrive from those who fall. But listen, intuition is not easy to develop. It requires courage, focus, and faith. And before I tell you exactly how to build and trust your intuition, you need to understand this. Awakening is the doorway, but intuition is the guide. So, here's the choice. You can go back to sleep and pretend life will continue as normal, or you can lean into this awakening and prepare yourself for what's ahead. Because remember, something big is happening. It's unfolding, whether you are ready or not. And those who awaken, who train their intuition, who prepare spiritually and mentally, those are the ones who will not only survive, but lead others through the storm. Stay with me, because the next truth I'll share will explain how intuition works, and why it may be the single greatest gift you'll need for what is coming. And I promise you will not hear this truth anywhere else. Something big is happening. You feel it. And if you've been paying attention to what I've already shared, you now understand why change matters, why awakening is stirring inside you. But what comes next is even more critical. It is called intuition. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a moment where something inside you whispered, "Don't go there," or "Call this person now," or "Something's about to happen," and when you followed it, you were shocked at how accurate it was? That is not coincidence. That is intuition. And in times like these, intuition may be your greatest protector. Because when the world is filled with noise, distractions, and lies, intuition is the quiet voice of truth that cuts through the fog. The danger is this: most people ignore it. They second guess themselves. They silence that inner voice, convincing themselves they are overthinking. And in doing so, they close the very channel that could guide them through what is coming. Tell me in the comments, do you listen to your intuition? If your answer is yes, write, "I trust my inner voice." If your answer is no, write, "I struggle to trust myself." Let's build a community here, because your honesty will help someone else realize they are not alone. Now let's go deeper. Intuition is not random. It follows patterns that most people never recognize. Think about the animals before a storm. Birds grow restless. Dogs bark at nothing. Even ants shift their colonies higher before floods. They are guided by an intelligence beyond sight or reason. Humans have that same capacity. You do, but we've numbed it. Years of noise, endless distractions, and artificial stimulation have dulled our natural gift. And yet those who awaken can sharpen it again. Here's the truth. Intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. And the weaker you let it become, the more dependent you become on outside voices telling you what to believe, where to go, and how to think. But right now, more than ever, you cannot afford to silence that inner compass. Let me give you an example. Years ago, a man in Texas shared how his intuition saved his life. He was driving late at night, and a quiet sense urged him to pull over and rest instead of continuing on. He obeyed that voice. Minutes later, a massive accident happened on the same stretch of road. If he had ignored his intuition, he would have been caught in the wreckage. Now think of your own life. How many times has your intuition saved you, or warned you, or nudged you toward an opportunity? This is why I want you to write in the comments a time when you followed your intuition, and what happened. If you can't think of one, share a time you ignored it and regretted it. Your story may awaken someone else's courage to trust their own inner voice. Here's what's urgent. What is happening right now in our world will require you to depend less on the voices of authority and more on the voice inside of you. Because the outside world is about to get noisier, more confusing, more deceptive. If you're not listening to your intuition, you will feel lost. And I need you to understand this. Intuition is not fear. Intuition is clarity. Fear paralyzes. Intuition directs. Fear says you can't. Intuition says, do this now. So how do you strengthen it? Begin by writing down the signals you feel, even if they don't make sense at first. That's why I encourage you, again, to use the 31-day daily high-impact planner. Each morning, jot down the subtle impressions you feel. Each night, reflect on the choices you made. Over 31 days, you will begin to see a pattern. When you listen, things align. When you ignore, things fall apart. And slowly, your intuition grows louder, stronger, sharper, until one day, you realize it has become your most trusted guide. But here's the catch. Intuition will often lead you to choices that others won't understand. It may ask you to step away from a crowd. It may tell you to prepare when others are mocking preparation. It may ask you to move in faith while others stay frozen in fear. That is why intuition requires courage, and courage will separate the ready from the unready. When the big shift arrives, let me ask you this. If your intuition told you to make a life-altering decision today, would you obey, or would you hesitate? Drop your answer in the comments. Yes, I'd obey, or I'd hesitate. Your honesty matters, because courage begins with acknowledging where you stand. Now listen carefully. Change prepares you. Awakening stirs you. Intuition guides you. But the next truth I will share is one of the deepest desires of the human spirit: freedom. And freedom is far more costly and far more urgent than most people realize, because the question is not just whether you have it, it's whether you are truly ready to protect it. When the storm arrives, stay with me. Do not miss what's coming. There is something we all claim to have, yet very few truly live it. Something so powerful that people across history have died to protect. But in our generation, it is slipping quietly through our fingers. That something is freedom. But here's the hidden truth most people never want to face. Freedom is not just given, it is guarded. Freedom is not only about governments or laws or rights,
written on paper. Freedom begins in the mind, in the choices you make daily, and in the courage to protect what matters when everything else is shaking. Let me ask you directly, are you really free, or are you just comfortable? Think carefully, because comfort is not the same as freedom. Comfort can be taken away overnight. Freedom must be protected, nourished, and sometimes fought for. Drop your answer in the comments. I am free, if you believe you are truly living free, or I am comfortable, if you sense that your life has been shaped more by convenience than by courage. Be honest. Your words may awaken someone else to face their own truth. Now here's what most people don't see. There are patterns in history. Every time a nation grows too comfortable, every time people stop guarding their values, every time convenience is chosen over conviction, freedom quietly arrives, not in one giant collapse, but in small hidden shifts. Little by little, rights disappear, voices get silenced, fear grows stronger than faith, and then, suddenly, people wake up to realize they are no longer free. But by then, it's often too late. This is why I'm speaking to you with urgency, because right now, while you're watching this, patterns are repeating, and if you don't see them, you risk being swept into the same cycle that has swallowed entire generations before. Let me share a story. A grandfather once told his grandson about life under a system that controlled every choice. The government decided what they could buy, when they could speak, even what they could believe. The grandson asked, "Why didn't you fight back?" The old man's eyes filled with tears, and he said, "Because by the time we realized what was happening, it was already too late." That story chills me, because it is not just history, it is a warning. And I am asking you, from my heart, are you awake enough to see the signs now before they become chains later? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Right, I will guard my freedom, if you agree that freedom must be protected. Now here's something that most people miss. Freedom is not only about what you can do, it's about what you refuse to let control you. If you are ruled by fear, you are not free. If your decisions are dictated by approval, you are not free. If you cannot say no to what steals your peace, you are not free. Do you see how deep this goes? Freedom is not just out there in the world, it is in here in your soul. And here is the hidden wisdom. Freedom is always tested before great change arrives. Always. The question is, will you be strong enough to hold it? This is where the 31-day daily high-impact planner comes in. Why? Because freedom is not just a principle, it's a practice. Each day, you use that planner, you're making micro choices that build strength. You're training your mind to focus what matters most, rather than drifting into distractions that slowly chain you without you realizing it. Use it to take back ownership of your time, your energy, your vision. That's the first battlefield of freedom. Now I must warn you, freedom will always come with a cost, and the higher the storm rises, the higher the price. Some of you may be called to make choices your friends or even family won't understand. Some of you will have to walk away from comfort, from systems that promised safety, but demanded your silence. And I need you to ask yourself right now, if the moment comes when your freedom is tested, will you stand or will you shrink back? Comment your answer below. Right, I will stand. If you're determined to hold your ground, or right, I'm not sure. If you're still wrestling with fear, be real. This community is not about pretending, it's about strengthening each other. Here's the thing, freedom is not just personal, it's generational. The choices you make today, what you protect, what you defend, what you build, will echo into the lives of your children and grandchildren. They will either inherit liberty or live under limits because of what you chose right now. That is why I cannot let you sleep through this moment, because there is something happening in the world right now that is shaking the foundation of freedom itself. And if you think this doesn't affect you, you are wrong. Freedom is being tested right now in ways most people cannot see until it is too late. But you are not most people. This video found you for a reason, because the next truth you're about to hear will strike at the very heart where you were born, what you are here to do, and what is coming that no one is preparing you for. Stay with me. Do not miss what's coming next. There is something inside of you right now that is greater than fear, greater than distraction, greater than every storm rising in the world. That something is purpose. But here's the truth. Few dare to admit, the greatest crisis of our generation is not just war, or economy or politics. It is the silent crisis of lost purpose. People are walking, talking, breathing, but without direction. And when a person does not know their purpose, they are easily controlled, easily deceived, easily broken. Let me ask you this directly. Do you truly know why you are here? Not your job, not your titles, not the expectations people placed on you. I'm talking about the reason you are alive, on this earth right now, at this exact moment in history. Drop your honest answer in the comments. Right, I know my purpose. If you are living with clear direction, or I'm still searching, if you feel the weight of that question pressing on you today, be real, because your words may give courage to someone else who is silently struggling with the same thing. Here's a hidden pattern you need to see. When society loses its collective sense of purpose, chaos fills the gap. People start chasing shadows. They run after pleasures, distractions, empty promises. They numb their souls with noise. And when that happens, the people without purpose become vulnerable to systems that happily assign them one. That is how freedom irradiates. When your purpose is handed to you, instead of born within you. I'll share a story. A man once told me, I worked for 40 years, provided for my family, and now I sit here wondering, was this why I was alive? That confession broke me, cause it revealed something most people never speak aloud, the fear of wasting a life. And I must ask you, when the final chapter of your story is written, will you be able to say, you lived on purpose? Or will you whisper the regret that you only exist? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Write no regrets if you want to live fully aligned with purpose. Now here is the wisdom no one is telling you. Purpose is not something you stumble into. It is something you prepare for, step by step, day by day. And often, it is uncovered in the middle of storms, not in seasons of comfort. This is why I reminded you about the 31-day daily high-impact planner. That tool is not just about time management. It is about alignment. Every page helps you carve out the space to discover what matters most, to recognize the patterns in your own life, to discern what is guiding you. Use it, and you will begin to see threads of your purpose weaving together, even in ordinary days. But here's what intensifies the urgency. We are stepping into a time when only those who know their purpose will stand. The storms will grow louder. The distractions will multiply. The pressure to conform will increase. If you do not know your why, you will be swept away by someone else's why. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed that when you drift too long without purpose, life begins to feel heavier, almost meaningless? That is not by accident. That is the natural consequence of ignoring your reason for being. Purpose is oxygen to the soul. Without it, you suffocate slowly. Comment below if you felt that before. Right, I need oxygen. If you've ever felt the emptiness of living without clarity. Or right, I breathe purpose. If you are committed to walking in what you are truly called to do, listen carefully. Your purpose is not random. It is not small. It was planted in you, because you were meant to live in this exact season. This is not a mistake. That is why this video found you now, not later, because there is a bigger unfolding happening, and you are meant to play your part in it. And here's the thing, most people miss. When purpose is rising, resistance always comes with it. That's how you know you're close. Some of you right now are experiencing doors closing, relationships shifting, unexpected disruptions, and you've been asking why now. But what if those very disruptions are clearing the space for your true purpose to emerge? Drop your thoughts. Right, I see it now. If you're beginning to understand how those struggles might actually be part of your preparation, this is why I must warn you. Do not waste this season. Do not silence that inner voice that keeps nudging you. Do not ignore the signs that keep showing up in your path. Because your purpose is not just about you. It is about the lives you are meant to touch, the impact you are meant to leave, and the destiny only you can fulfill. And here's where it gets deeper. There is something happening right now on a global level that is demanding people to rise in their true purpose. Those who do will be leaders in the new chapter ahead. Those who don't will be swept into confusion. That is why you cannot afford to miss what I will share next, because the truth that follows is not just important, it is the most important revelation of all. The reason this video found you before it happens is not by chance. It is because what is unfolding will require you to know your true identity, your freedom, your focus, and your purpose, or you risk losing them all. Right now, at this very moment, something unseen is a shift so powerful, so quiet, and so unlike anything most people have ever felt, that only those who are truly awake will sense it. This is not fear, this is a signal, and it is why this message found you before it happened. What you are feeling inside, that stirring, that urgency, that question that won't leave you alone, is not random. It is an invitation, a whisper from the unseen, a call to step into inner wisdom, inner vision, and unseen direction. Because here is the truth, the greatest breakthroughs, the deepest abundance, the truest growth, do not begin outside of you. They begin inside, in a place no one else can see. And right now, That inner space is being called to awaken. Let me ask you, do you sense, have you felt lately, like something big is approaching your life? Something you can't explain, but you can't ignore? Drop your answer in the comments. Right? I sense it. If you felt that stirring, or I want to see if you're ready for your inner vision to open. Here's the hidden pattern that most people miss. Every major shift in history has been preceded by an inner shift. In a few individuals who were prepared, they felt it before others did, and they adjusted before others even noticed. And because they prepared, they stepped into abundance and growth, while others were swept away. I'll tell you a story. There was a man and a woman who received the same quiet warning, the same message, the same opportunity to prepare. The man listened. He began to align his days, sharpen his focus, clear his distractions. He built the inner strength for what was coming. The woman shrugged it off. She said, "Nothing will change. Things will always be the same." When the unseen shift arrived, the man stepped into a door of opportunity he had prepared for. His life multiplied. The woman was caught, unprepared. She lost what she thought was secure, not because she was evil, but because she ignored the inner call to prepare. This is not a story about them. This is a story about you. Right now you are in the same position. A whisper is reaching you. A call is inviting you. Will you answer, or will you pay the cost of ignoring it? Drop your commitment in the comment. Right? I will prepare. If you're ready to align, or I'm still deciding. If you feel the tension of this moment, your words might be the spark someone else needs to awaken. Now listen carefully. This shift is not something the common mind can sense, or it is beyond headlines, beyond the noise, beyond what most people will ever understand. That is why only those with inner wisdom and inner vision will recognize it. That is why you are hearing this now. And this is why I remind you about the 31-day daily high-impact planner. That is not just a tool, it's a training ground. Each day you use it, you train your inner sight, your intuition, your focus. You align your outer actions with your inner direction. You prepare your life to receive what is coming, because there is a major invisible shift coming to your life. It will either open a door of abundance, growth, and breakthrough, or it will pass you by if you're unprepared. This is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to awaken you. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to catch opportunities, others miss? It's not luck, it's alignment, it's readiness, it's inner vision, meeting the right moment. Comment below if you've seen this in your own life. Right? I'm ready. If you're aligning yourself now, or teach me more. If you want deeper direction on how to prepare, I'm sharing this because someone had to tell you. Someone had to break the silence because no one else is telling you this. Not in this way. And I was instructed to bring this message to you because it could help you. This is not the end of the message. This is only the beginning. There are things already happening. Things most people have no idea about, that I will be revealing in the coming messages. Directions you will need to move forward. Insights that could change your entire trajectory. Do not miss them. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell notification icon right now, because missing even one of these coming messages could break the chain of preparation you've begun today. You've been called, you've been warned, you've been invited. Now the question is, will you act? Drop your answer below. Right? I'm awake. If you're stepping into inner wisdom and unseen direction, or I choose growth. If you're ready to prepare for the breakthrough ahead, your future self will thank you. And stay tuned. The next message will uncover what most people cannot see. The forces already moving, the patterns already shifting, and the opportunity waiting for those who are ready. This is why this video found you before it happened. Because you're not most people, you're here for a reason. Stay awake, stay prepared. The unseen is becoming visible. Check my playlist for more videos, and I'll see you in the next.